Over the last few days, you may have seen Claude's latest updates with dispatch and computer use, and these are some really powerful features that if you were trying to get started with this whole setup, I'm going to walk you through everything from installation of Claude on your desktop, making sure you give it the right permissions, all the way to getting dispatch set up on your phone. We're going to run through that now. All right, the first thing we're going to want to do is just download the desktop app. And so here I'm going to go down. Don't you love the ad by ChatGPT right here? We are going to go to installing Claude Desktop. We'll click on that. That's the Help Center page. Here's the downloads page. You could just go to claude.com/download. That might have been a little bit easier. Then from here, you'll download it for your respective computer. I'm on Mac, so we'll download it like this. In the meantime, you may want to download the app on your device as well, because we will be using that later on to get dispatch set up. Now I have it set up, and now I will start the install just like that. Perfect, just like that we are set up. So I am gonna open up Claude on my desktop. Now from here, it'll ask us to log in, and so we'll just log in with our account. And just like that, we are in. We're gonna wanna adjust a few settings, which I'll go into my account here and go to settings. And then down here, in general, we'll want to turn on a few things. You already see that I have these on. Here you'll see browse use and computer use. These are by default turned off as of right now. So it'll say, hey, do you wanna do it? Say sure. And then here as well, you want to turn those two on. Now we're going to come back to this, but I do want to say that you're going to want to take a look at the Pro plan. This does not include the API side of it. This is just the Pro plan. And so right here, you're going to want to sign up for Pro, or if you do want more, you could sign up for Max. But if you get set up with Pro, you'll be good to go. As you can see right here, power through tasks with COWORK. This is part of your setup. Now, one more thing I do want to highlight as we get further along is that I would come into your connectors and start to connect any of the apps that you find really useful in terms of your business, your operation, what you're doing. As you can see, we have Notion, Granola, Gmail, Apollo, and Google Drive already linked. And I'm going to show you two different use cases here, whether you're using the connectors inside of Claude to get work done, or if you're doing things on your desktop. Next, for dispatch, I did set it up already, but if you are getting set up, it'll basically ask you to scan a QR code, and then it'll open up the app on your device. And then from there on your device, you're able to go in to Claude, and then from there, you're gonna have this dispatch option on your screen. As you can see it right there, just like right about there, you'll be able to click into that, and then just like that, it'll look for your desktop, and then you have a live chat with your desktop. We're gonna go deeper on that in a moment. Now, the last thing here is I did have this installed already, and so when I walked you through the process, the one thing that didn't happen is that it did not prompt me for access to my entire computer, which you are gonna have to allow it to have specific access to your computer. So here you can see in files and folders, it has access right now to my desktop folder, documents, and downloads, as well as additional access that it has here on my computer. Now, the first task that I wanted to do is every time we have a YouTube video in our pipeline, there's typically a script tied to it, especially when I'm working with a brand, and that script lives in Google Docs. And so I wanted to make sure that every video that we have in our workflow has a Google Doc attached to it, if a Google Doc exists. You could pause the video and see the prompt I have here on my screen, but you see it with computer mode. Go in and are you able to do XYZ? And just before I do that, I do want to highlight a few things that they offer here. We may take a look at it, but you can see it could organize your screenshots, optimize your week, or find insights in specific files. There are some limitations that we're going to talk about in a moment, but let's get started with this. Now, because I'm still learning the capabilities of COWORK, I started this entire prompt with a question versus a statement. And that way, it's gonna give me more of an answer and a thinking process of what it's gonna actually do. These are great questions. I do have Google Drive on my desktop, and so all of the files are synced locally, so you could search for those. All right, so it asked me some clarifying questions here that I just will send an answer to. Now, as you can see, there's something here that is really interesting. For our use case, we kind of don't technically need COWORK, but we could do it with COWORK. What I mean is there's a Notion MCP and there's also a Google Drive MCP. And that means that Claude on its own can do all of this work. Now, here's the database that is going to be updating. I specifically wanted to update statuses with editor, ready for revision, as those are the ones that I need to make sure the script is connected. Sometimes when I get started, I start creating the script, I forget to connect it in Notion. On this view, you can see that some of these have Dropbox files, but they don't have the actual Google script linked, so we're gonna see what it does now. Now, as you can see, it's making some updates here, and it just added this file here, so let's take a look and make sure that it is accurate. So I'm gonna open up Instapage right here, and I'm gonna take a look at this script and see if it pulled the right one. And it did. It literally pulled the right script. This is awesome. From there, it also pulled this script right here. So I'm gonna take a look at this, and just like that, it pulled the right script again. Really interesting use case that just saves me a bit of time, that I don't have to necessarily go do these tasks. If I get this into a sequence that happens every single day or every other day, this could be really useful. Now, COWORK wasn't necessarily required here, but I think it's a good use case because it shows you a little bit of where we're gonna get started and where we're about to go. What I wanna do now is I wanna create a folder of all the videos that I have taken a screenshot of on YouTube that I really like their thumbnail and title. I don't necessarily wanna organize all my screenshots. That's a cool feature, but right now I just want to put them all into an individual folder. Now, this is where I think the real fun begins. So with COWORK, I'm going to have it go into my screenshots folder, which is synced through Dropbox. I'm going to make sure that it downloads all my screenshots because some are taken on this computer or my other computer, so it has access to see all of them. I only want it to pull screenshots of thumbnails and titles that I took screenshots of, put it into a folder, and I'm also asking it to put all that content into a document as well. We'll see where that ends up, but some type of document where it is going to list the title, the text on the thumbnail, as well as describe what the thumbnail looks like, and if it is able to actually add in those images as well, so I could see all of them on a Notion page or a Google Doc or something like that. And then as you can see here with my screenshots, some are downloaded with this like check mark, and then some are not. So it may ask me to do that, but I want to see if it's capable of downloading all of them. Great, it's asking me a few questions. It's asking me where this folder should exist. I'm gonna say, yeah, inside. Actually, let's just do desktop. We'll be able to see it here. What format should the document repository be created in? Let's do a Notion page. How do you typically name your YouTube thumbnail screenshots? This helps me identify. Okay, great. It has already started, and as you can see, it is syncing all the files now. This is awesome. It needs some system permissions. Request screen recording. Okay, open system settings. Claude, so I need to allow it to do this. So as you can see here on the right, it has put a list of items of what it's going to work on and what it's going to do. I've now given it access to my Finder, and as you can see, it's taken over my entire screen. I don't know if I'm supposed to, yeah, just allow. So it says, I already see that the screenshots folder is already open in Finder with Dropbox. It's perfect. All visible screenshots have green check marks, meaning they're already synced locally. Let me check all to confirm the count and check for any cloud-only files. This is awesome. So this is where COWORK really takes everything to the next level because it's actually taking control of my computer. It is handling the task as I've requested, which this would have taken me hours to do before. And now I'm actually able to surface a lot of great information that I'm looking for with these thumbnails. All right, it's highlighted all the thumbnails. Okay, and it notices that I'm actually recording the screen right now to have a transparent overlay blocking Finder clicks. I'll work directly with the terminal instead. This is actually much more efficient. Great, I love that there's no attitude here. Okay, great, it's doing some work. And this is where I think Dispatch is the most powerful because I don't necessarily need to be in front of my computer to be able to do this. I could literally just do this from my phone, have access to my computer with Claude, and be able to make this happen so that by the time I get back to my device, this is already ready for me. Now, this is actually where the Mac Mini becomes really useful because it could be a second computer running for you where you could deploy things with Dispatch, but at the same time still have access to your device. Thankfully, I always work on 2 computers, and so it gives me the flexibility of doing that already. But this is a really good use case of getting work done in the background. Instead of having to hire someone or go to Fiverr and pull someone to be able to help you do this, you could actually just have Claude COWORK get it done for you. Now, it has been working for maybe 10 minutes or so, and you can see here it says 764 candidates found. That's actually incredible. I am gonna take a look at my usage at the end of this video because since we started, I think it's used a bit of the API calls or whatever, credits, tokens in this process, but let's see what it starts to put together. Now, it's still working, it's taking a bit of time, but I had this thought actually as I was waiting here and getting some other work done. But I was taking a look at this, and this feels like what Apple Intelligence was supposed to be the whole time, where it's just part of your computer and your system where you could use AI to leverage everything on your device already to be able to communicate, ask questions, get stuff done, do searches, which this is now happening through Claude. But if you see the border on my screen, it's as if this was Apple Intelligence. It kind of gives that feel just a bit. And maybe that is a pro tip as well. On another note is that maybe don't give it a large amount of tasks at one time. Just give it baby steps that it can take to get things done so that you don't get kind of caught in a limbo. I think it's been working now for maybe 20 minutes. And I could imagine it takes some time, but it is definitely taking a lot longer than I expected. And I'm not sure how long it's gonna take while it's taken over my entire device. All right, so it's been working for a good 20 or 30 minutes or so, and it kind of got to a point where it said, hey, look, I've done a bunch. I haven't done everything, but let me just get this set up for you, scan through a bunch. Let me just get started on the next step, and then we'll go from there. So it just wants access. I'm going to give it some access, and it should be able to now create the folder that I had requested. What I'm noticing as well in my user experience is that it's a great start. It is definitely not fleshed out to a point of sophistication and also speed that you would expect from technology. But as you can see, it did drop this folder on my desktop, which it's going to start building out, which is pretty exciting to see where this technology is today and how we could use it. While it does that, let me talk a little bit about Dispatch. Now, Dispatch works from your device. It works through your Claude app, where you could easily go into your app and just be able to prompt a conversation with your computer and get started on it. Now, here are the examples that they give that I think also show you the extent of the technology. Right now it says, find a confirmation in downloads and check the order status on the site. Find a passport scan, check visa rules for a trip and flag what's missing. Scan Slack for a bug report. Find the file and open a code session to fix it. Search your repos for an error message and trace where it comes from. As you can see, those are kind of okay use cases. They don't really transform your life or save you tens of hours a day. And with that said, what's important to note as well is there is limited capabilities when it comes to using a browser. You could use an off-name browser like Min. There was a video I saw where they talked about using that, and that is not blocked from Claude as of the moment, and there might be other browsers in the future, but most browsers are limited on the major ones like Chrome and Firefox. So Claude isn't really able to do much in terms of getting actual work done through your browser. Now, it says the folder has been created. It's creating the actual text inside of Notion. Let's take a look at this folder right here. All right, so it kind of actually did a very bad job. This is actually really interesting. Most of these are not YouTube thumbnails. It's like a website. These are not YouTube thumbnails. So it grabbed a few, but it did get confused, it looks like. So I will have to have it filter a little bit more to be able to generate what I need overall. Because like this is a YouTube, this is exactly what I had it look for. And maybe I just have to specify that a little bit more and then actually ask it to add a naming convention as well. Yeah, these are YouTube thumbnails. These are great. This is exactly what we do want, but it looks like it grabbed a lot of other stuff as well. All right, now it's been about 30 minutes or so in this whole process, and it says it's generated this page. View your page. Let's take a look. Open the link. Let's see. All right, so it has generated a lot. This is great. I would love if the image was actually here. Oh, it's right here. Oh no, this is just the name of the image. Okay, that's not as useful, but I think I just gave it too much at the onset. And then from there, I would just try to do step by step or simplify it a little bit. Because here, what I am gonna do is I'm actually gonna have Dispatch start a new conversation where I basically say, go into this folder and just basically grab anything that looks more like this. So let me paste that in. All right, so I'm gonna just watch what it does now as I start this conversation. So let me just show you, I've sent the message. It's working on its end. One thing to note while I go through this looks good. There's a good start here. There's still some issues. I don't know how helpful it really is at this point, but there are some things that really could be useful as you scale this up. Maybe what I would do if I rework this was I would just automatically duplicate all the screenshots from my actual screenshot folder, put it into this YouTube thumbnail folder, which would take 15 seconds, and then from there have it filter through and delete out any of the files that don't make sense. And then maybe show it 2 to 3 files of what I do want, which I'm kind of doing now with Dispatch. So, all right, it said, I've started a test to scan your YouTube thumbnails folder on your desktop. I'll show you exactly what it plans to delete before touching anything and ask you for confirmation first. Allow. I love that they added a little read right there. You see that? A little read notification to show you that the message has been read. And you know, it is worth mentioning, there may be an issue with this workflow because I am recording my screen, and it did mention way up here that right here said Tela appears to have a transparent overlay blocking Finder clicks. And so it worked around that, which could have complicated the experience, but let's see what it does now. All right, so I found 5 files to delete out of 440, deleting them now. These 5 are being removed. The reality is there's way more, so I'm just not sure why it's not being able to read images, and maybe that's part of the complexity. It doesn't have the best capabilities in terms of reading images. What's really interesting here is that a lot of what it did choose is very colorful screenshots. So I'm not sure if it's just confused or what, but like, again, this is like just a random screenshot where it's not a YouTube thumbnail. So I'm kind of perplexed in terms of what it actually grabbed. This YouTube thumbnail, that's great. And one other challenge I would point out as of right now is that it says it's working, but I'm not seeing anything happen on my actual device. Again, it could be because I'm recording my screen, but then on the back end here, when I take a look at this, it's also not giving me screenshots. So I could say, hey, go do this task, but I have no idea what's happening, what to look at, if it's actually doing it, what needs to be done, what I need to review. I would have to be back at my computer. So Dispatch is a great start, but I don't know if the power of it is there yet in terms of actually adding any daily use value to a workflow. Now, it is worth mentioning the chat I'm having with Dispatch right now on my phone is right here. And so I could see everything on both devices. Now, it's not giving me all these details, but if I did go into the sidebar here and I go to Dispatch, it will show me my actual same exact conversation of where we're at in this workflow. So it's giving me the exact same conversation on both, so I can see it. And as you can see here, I have both of these toggled on, which you will need if you are trying to run computer use through Dispatch. Now, I did just ask it, what are some of the limitations? And it really does come down to using Google Chrome, which I know is very important for a lot of people's workflow. This is a safe rail, a guardrail, I mean, where they're trying to ensure that it doesn't just go on there and log into your bank accounts and transfer money and all that stuff. But at the same time, that does limit a bit of what you can do. So I think things that I'm working on right now is making sure that my Dropbox is on my desktop, my Google Drive is on my desktop, my Notion is on my desktop. And yes, there are MCPs, but at the same time, that is a really important use case for any knowledge worker who's trying to get the most value from these tools in their workflow. Now, if you got value from this video, I would so appreciate if you subscribe. We're going to be publishing more and more content to help you integrate AI into your day-to-day to either simplify your life, make more money, build more free time, not to make you busier. As well as over time, we will be dropping courses, so definitely check the links out down below to make sure you're up to date with that. Thank you so much for watching. Drop your comments below if you're thinking of any other content ideas or other kinds of videos you'd like to see. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.